Your greatest pain will be your best testimony. And what I mean by that is everything that you're going through right now is specifically meant to make you a warrior. The moment that you decided who you wanted to become was the moment that you also decided the level of difficulty that you were going to also deal with. If you decided you wanted to be an icon, a big influencer, a big music artist, you have to understand that you're going to deal with big problems. You want big money, you got to be able to deal with big problems. And I've noticed that people, they run away from adversity, but even in the book Think and Grow Rich, it talks about every single person who is successful has to be able to deal with temporary defeat. And what does that mean? You cannot see temporary defeat as something permanent, because the moment that you think of it permanent, it becomes permanent. But when you see temporary defeat for what it is and you don't use it to lose faith and you don't use it to lose confidence, you don't allow it to break you down, what happens is that temporary defeat becomes the very mechanism that makes you strong enough for what you want. It's so funny because blessings truly do come in disguise. Something that you thought was absolutely detrimental to your career was the very thing that launched it. The one breakup that you thought really broke your heart was the one thing that actually taught you how to love. And it's funny because we deal with these polarities, and us as humans, we're so dedicated to how we view things that it stops us from actually seeing what life is trying to do for us and not to us. We can have such victim mentalities where we're just like, why is this happening to me? Why? And in reality, we don't even realize that it's happening for you. Sometimes God has to break your heart to save your soul. And I know that may be very hard to accept. That may be very hard for you to ponder on. But it's the truth. Some of these people in your life who have left your life needed to go, but you weren't going to do the letting go. So life had to do it for you. Life also wants to see you succeed. Life is also a great competitor. So life will test you and challenge you until you decide to stand up to the potential that you know you're supposed to live at. You can't get mad at life for pushing you where you need to be when you're not doing it. And don't let life beat you up. You only allow yourself to be beat up when you feel like you're nothing or you feel like you're a failure. Or it's all about the things that you tell yourself in your head. Some of these things that you're telling yourself is not actually beneficial. And then you wonder why your mind is such a negative space because of the things that you tell yourself. You have to, number one, give yourself grace. This is your first time at life, quote unquote, or in this life, you know? Yes, you are an old soul, but like, this is your first time doing it this way. Okay. So you cannot run away from mistakes. Mistakes are the very things that you want to happen. Small mistakes, though. You don't want big mistakes because big mistakes can cost you too much. You want to make as many small mistakes as possible so you can learn, so you can never make that mistake again. But the problem is that sometimes, and I'm going to give you grace on this because sometimes I do the same thing. It's okay. Sometimes we make the same small mistake over and over and over again for some reason. I can't tell you why. It's just some human shit. But once you know what's holding you back, please do not go back. And it's going to be tempting because a lot of times when we stop doing something that is hurting us, it usually means that the people who are involved will usually have to step away from also. Meaning that if you are a drinker and Tommy is who you always go drinking with, but now you decided that you want to stop drinking, you're probably not going to see Tommy as much. And a lot of times it's not the drinking itself that you're grieving. It's the connections that you made around this last version of yourself that you're grieving because they're never going to be the same. They're never going to be the same. And I think that when we get overly attached to that, that's when we create this sadness for no reason. I think the key is to stay detached. You know, I think that we want life to be a certain type of way. And quite frankly, I think that if we actually had life the way that we want it to be,
YouTube video. What's
oh
up,
shit.
everybody?
I feel like if we actually had the life that we thought we wanted, we probably wouldn't actually enjoy it like we think we would. And that's because us as humans are so complex. We think we know what we want, but then when we get it, it's not actually what we want. So that's why it's important to actually spend time with yourself and say, you know what? What do I actually want in life? I just don't understand. Like, even me, I'm grieving things from a life that I know I hated. And I just don't understand why I even have to be sad about it. And it's like, I know I hated that life. I know I hated that life, but why do I feel a type of way about it? And maybe I answered my own question in this, but again, I'm still human. And some things that I feel, I just don't want to feel anymore, you know? But in order to feel the highs of the highs, you have to be able to feel the lows of the lows. You know, and I give thanks to my ancestors. I give thanks to God, the Most High, like Most High God. I give thanks because I know I have the strength and I know I have the spiritual team to keep me on board and on par. But I just really wanted to make this video for you because I don't want you to overlook yourself. And I don't want you to measure yourself in the lens of other people who, quite frankly, ain't even shit, not even doing shit. All they do is sit on their couch and talk about other people's life and watch other people do while they watch. While they consume, you create. You understand? Now go do what you got to do.